Good evening, good afternoon, good night, all my listeners. This is one AAA podcast, one absolutely African American podcast, and I'm your host, the Hypocritical Cynic. Contact me in the emails. It's in the description at one AAA podcast at gmail.com. If you want to donate, go to Cash App, one AAA podcast TX. Donate as much as you want or as little as you want. It's all on you. It's all appreciated. Let me stop. Shout out to my artists. Y'all know about NC. Do a great work. I'm gonna buy some more work when I get some more paper, but it's going down. You can holler at me at Gmail for one AAA podcast at gmail.com for life coaching, writing, muse, speeches. It don't matter. After you holler at me, go holler at VI. The name is Vic, great master producer, audio and visual. It don't matter. Audio, if you want to do a one song cover, all the way to a mixtape, all the way to a full LP, he got you. Visual, if you want to do a professional social media skit, all the way to a 3-hour full-length movie, he got you. Bring your script, your dream, your actors, or just bring an idea, and he gonna put it on 4K, 5K camera for you, 8K camera, whatever he got. We keep the best. Beautiful studio. Meet you on location or create a location if you just give him an idea. Real cool dude, real cool. His contact information is in the description, but it's Vipushupfilms at gmail.com. Y'all holler at him. Of course, after you holler at Vic, go holler at Dirty Kicks on Instagram. And his Instagram is DIRTYKICKSSS, 3 S's. And he got you on any sneaker need. Current, classic, manufacturer, release date, size, it don't matter. He got you. Trust me. With that being said, we getting right back into the show. I hate doing part two, but I had to because I had a lot of information that correlates with this topic. Like I said in the last show, I didn't want to do this show because I wanted other people to see, not my tinfoil hat, but kind of connect the dots a little bit. So it's kind of hard to connect dots if you don't believe none of the dots. But shout out to T.I., like I said, the statement, $1 million for each person, that ain't right. You can't have a finite solution to an infinite problem. You can't do it. It's just impossible. But you was more on par with your idea about the perpetual payment or, from Lords of London. But, y'all check out my videos in my whole ideology on reparations. Y'all look at my archive. I got a great video trying to explain that. I hope more people get on that. But we cannot sign a fiscal remuneration policy or law that does not involve infinite payouts in perpetuity. That's the foundation information for the conversation. Everything built on top would just be the fluctuating parameter or percentage that would be paid depending on correlating directly on how the country is doing. That's it. But going right into the story, since picking up from where I was left off, China probably called for the debt and realized they weren't gonna get paid like they wanted to. That's why they sold $8 billion of that debt, not more, which would have caught us with our pants down. China bought that. We borrowed that money from. I'm messing up. Y'all can tell. Y'all, hey, kids, get your parents' permission. Parents, if you have a stigma about being yourself, go a few exits up the freeway, but you gotta get to a CBD shop and let them explain the medicinal uses and benefits of medicinal CBD and THC. Yeah, I guess y'all can see it in my eyes. I'm trying to keep with the show, y'all stay with me. But like I say, China probably called for that debt, and then America didn't pay what they were supposed to. That's probably how America got a chance to sell African resources and allow Chinese colonization in Africa to pay back our debt. I'm gonna do a whole show on that. And then the African Americans here, we're getting messed over too, because eventually it's gonna come out that America was harvesting our organs from live hosts, live black African Americans, and selling them to China. It's cold-blooded, man. it's not it's documented when it come out, man. It's gonna be crazy, 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 and all this is happening since, like I say, 2001. As soon as we got that surplus, everything changed. Enron took their little surplus off the top, and everybody realized they almost got away with it, so they started doing it. Rolling blackouts to cut off generators so people can, manipulate computers and stuff like that. Cold stuff, man, cold stuff. But by them selling that $8 billion worth of debt, the treasury bonds, not the interest on the debt, but the treasury bonds, that was almost a breaching contract, even though it wasn't a breaching contract. Because America borrowed that money from China in lieu that China wouldn't sell our debt to somebody else, actually giving the power of our dollar to somebody else, creating two people that we owe loan and interest to. China almost promised not to do that. But what's going on in Africa right now and back then, it made it hard for Chinese to take over Africa like they were supposed to. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got the UK, France, and Britain over there in Mozambique. They done took the natural gas fields away from the people. Well, in essence, they bought it for $14.9 billion. But that's a finite amount. You can't sell an industry for a finite amount. They probably own it in perpetuity for a finite amount. Eventually, sports players are gonna get over $14 billion. They sold the whole industry for $14 billion. That just ain't right. But like I was saying in the last show, since they borrowed the money from China in 2001, excuse me, let me clarify. Iran was caught taking the surplus from Clinton's administration through their company. There was the surplus that they noticed that was available, which they could have reintroduced to their company. They stole it. So that's what they got caught doing. So when the rest of the big businesses found out what Enron did, they found a way to do it a little bit slicker, allegedly. But since that happened, the whole bubble bust and all that stuff like that, America has made allegiance with Russia, allegedly. And I say allegedly because only the scapegoats went to jail. Everybody else was questioning all that stuff like that, but scapegoats went to jail. I'm just gonna speak a manner for it because, he looked like a real respectable dude. You ain't gonna just run up and say nothing crazy to him. But in a room full of powerful politicians, he looks like a scapegoat. And when people called, I think it was Snowden that called them on some of that BS, people had to go down, people had to fall. I think the allegiance is probably still there, and Russia neighbors China, so, but since 2001, U.S. has created air superiority throughout the Middle East on the way to China, the whole time. Since 2001, they have demonized or fought every country that was in OPEC. Since 2001, they have been fighting African warlords, leaders, presidents, whoever got money and resources, they've been fighting them to allow China to come in and colonize Africa. I feel like it's in repayment for the loan that they was paying. In 2006, y'all know about Black Hawk Down and all that stuff like that. In 2006, the China-Africa Summit happened in Beijing. And that was basically, after that summit, China really started to, really started to court Africa, if you want to say it like that. After that conference with China and China and Africa don't have nothing to do with Africa. But we see who was it really created that conference, because the U.S., the UK, and Britain are over there in Mozambique right now with full control of the natural gas fields for it don't even matter how much, for a finite amount of money, they bought the natural gas fields of Mozambique, most likely in perpetuity. See, the Mozambique people are standing up. That's why I say African pride and Chinese honor is exposing what these people are doing in the world. That's all. No guns, no tariffs and treaties and stuff like that. And more than likely, all the countries that they've been fighting, they created embargoes, tariffs, and stuff like that to raise prices on stuff. So, America, they, like I said in the last video, they trying to hide their indigence, taken from everybody. I remember at one point in the 2000s, I was like, why are we fighting everybody? We was looking for people to fight. When Iraq had the weapons of mass destruction, allegedly, I was watching that conference or whatever, that congressional hearing. I wouldn't even stop what I was doing to help him fight somebody if that was his explanation. If he ran from the store and said somebody beat me up, and I asked him what happened, and he said, that's that house right next to the store, and I said, yeah. He said it could have been some people in there, but I ain't gonna talk about that. Y'all know what Rumsfeld said. See that building right there? Could have been some bombs in there. Maybe, but that was crazy. But yeah, so. They destabilize world leaders, destabilize civilian populations in countries where they did not allow civilian upheaval. So it had to be outside influence. It had to be, period, point blank. If you don't understand something about somebody, look to who's significant in their life. At one point, the people of Syria, the president was more significant to them. Something changed where the people of Syria see who the outside influencers is more influential. It's crazy. But after 2006, after that summit, like I say, China and Africa don't have nothing to do with Africa. So after that summit, then Margaret Sanger, everybody know how horrible she was. She wanted to exterminate black people. She looked at us like we was weeds and needed to be taken care of. But after 2006 summit in Beijing, the China-Africa summit in Beijing in 2006, then Planned Parenthood came to Africa. And just the documented abortions was 8 billion. The documented ones, not the undocumented. The documented ones was 8 billion. So basically, America sold Africa to China for our debt. But Tariq Nasheed had a lot to do with, the people in Africa actually standing up and being heard, because he went after the coons, the people that was going against their people for money. That's all they did in Africa, no guns. Y'all want to fight that fight, that's y'all fight. That's y'all fight over there. Tariq Nasheed called him out. Before Tariq Nasheed acted the fool over there, it would literally take a coup to depose a leader stealing from the people. Now they won't even run. Rest in peace, I think it was Robert Mugabe. I think his name was Mugabe. But yeah, that African pride and Chinese honor is actually exposing what's going on in the country over there, in the continent over there. African pride is actually the current of energy that's allowing Africa to change right before our eyes. It's crazy. America, most likely Britain too, but they took the cream off the top. When Clinton had a surplus, had America doing good, everybody making money. And then, they took all that surplus. So to answer the question, what would rich people do if they did not have to steal? They steal. They still. So, but yeah, they traded. Like I said, I'm gonna do a whole video on it. But right now, I'm just gonna say they traded our organs, African American, mostly male organs, for colonization in Africa. We weren't about to benefit one iota from them stealing our organs. Maybe with medical, research, advancing our population, our medical knowledge as a population, but we still see the discrimination in the hospitals right now. People stood up in America, stood up in France, stood up in Britain, stood up in Africa. Black people. See, finally, people in America, France, Britain, and Africa, we stopped looking at the bullshit, waiting for a rose to come out. Now they can't even sign policy that sounds that bad. Just by standing up, that's it. That's all. I'm no advocate for violence. Fight those that fight against you and realize that might be your last fight, so fight hard. But for the billionaires' salaries to increase while everybody else is losing money, and they was gonna keep that sustained until upheaval stopped them. That shows you what kind of people these people are. This is a capitalistic society. The incentive is to be paid so you can be comfortable, but there's no reason for fast food workers not to make a livable wage. There's no reason. Like I say, the Los Angeles Clippers gave back $26 million when everybody got small business loans. Los Angeles Lakers is not really a small business, but they gave back $26 million because they was going to get exposed by a populace that's tired of that bullshit. The only reason I bring that up, not to big up, Discord, but the Los Angeles Lakers gave back $26 million at the same time while true small business owners couldn't even get a call back or the website to work. That's cold, man. So much for trickle-down theory. So much. I guess trickle-down theory means if you pee down my leg, you just gonna say it's raining. Cold, man. But yeah, basically, U.S. and China are gonna fight because of Chinese honor and African pride. African pride stood up and put those Chinese out of the country for all the bullshit they were doing, stealing and raping from the country. And you see, China didn't want to put a Chinese flag over that kind of insurrection, that kind of upheaval, discord, anarchy, theft. But the UK, France, and I think Britain too, are over there right now controlling Mozambique natural gas fields. If African people didn't stand up, it would be Chinese over there controlling natural gas fields. And I say don't work at those natural gas plants and fields, because now it's a guard up there. The Chinese weren't gonna do anything good for y'all. UK, France, Britain are not gonna do anything good for y'all, but at least they're gonna do something good for themselves. At least they might have that natural gas up to code, up to par, whatever like that. But don't y'all fight over that. Don't y'all go over there and fight over that. Let them fight over that. I didn't say Africa was gonna fight US or Africa was gonna fight China. I said US gonna fight China. And everybody see it now, so I ain't tinfoil hat man. But it's gonna happen when they realize Chinese can't go over there. That's happening right now. When the UK and France realize they gotta bring people over there to work over there. Not the $100,000, well, excuse me, that's the $1 million job, no-show jobs. I ain't talking about them jobs. Somebody has to go over there and work and maintain those fields, those plants. When they realize it's them over there, and then somebody has to clean the sludge, they gonna realize something. That's how they want to treat the Africans. So y'all don't work over there. Let them have all that. Let them have all that, because eventually the light gonna come on. That's an African. That's an African natural gas field. It's gonna go back to the Africans. It's gonna go back to the Africans. Y'all let them have they fight over there. They U.S. and U.K. over there trying not to fight with China. Put it like that. Put it like that. Because water seeks its own level. As soon as U.S. and China, as soon as U.S., Britain, and France get a foothold in Mozambique, they're gonna start taking over more of Africa. And they're gonna start paying back China less and less, and China not having that. It's crazy, man, but African pride, by them standing up and not allow, by Tariq Nasheed calling out the coons in Africa, it instilled African pride. Power over Ogun came over Africa, and they stood up. No guns, no war. They stood up and said, y'all cannot do this. The only thing changed now from when Robert Mugabe, rest in peace, was taking care of business, was the coons are out of the way. Don't let the coons get back in the way. See, the coons didn't work, so they brought the UK, France, and Britain over there. Because the coons ain't doing it. Normally the coons, you know how they did it a long time ago. Coons will make this people mine the fields and take the money and give it to these people. They can't do that no more. People standing up. So the honor of African people is exposing what's going on. African pride, the Chinese honor, by them not selling our credit debt to the market, to the open market, it saved our life. Because we sold our debt to China to borrow money from China. If they would have turned around and sold every share dollar for dollar, it would have exposed how broke America really is, and we never would have recovered. Never would have recovered at all. So Chinese honor, by them not selling any money that we borrowed until I think it was 2008. Yeah, 2008 they sold $8 billion worth of treasury bonds. Billion, not trillion. It's 8 billion. It's $1 trillion. The number so askew is say 1 trillion. It was $1 trillion in 2010. They don't even say what it is right now. The interest on that. And then borrowing more and more and more, the bank bailout, COVID, hurricane, all this stuff like that. It gets up there. But we're gonna see. Hopefully America just pays it back. Or if we don't, it might start World War III. Nobody wants to see it, but all the factors are there. But with that being said, everybody realize we got a neighborhood we gotta hold on to. If you don't have a neighborhood, go somewhere where you're accepted. Black people need to come together. We eat every day, barbecue every day. You can't eat barbecue every day, so some days you're eating fruit and vegetables in that line instead of barbecue and potato salad and stuff that we like to eat all the time in that line. And then from us coming together, just eating together, just supping together, our needs are gonna create industry. This person can talk to this person, and our protection will come from our, bad actors. The people that actually, down for the hood. They can protect our neighborhood as our needs create interest. Like I said in the previous video, machines need warehouses, warehouses need land. You start with land, then you get the warehouse, then you put the machine in it. And once we get a textile company going, it's going live. But I got a whole nother video. I'm just gonna give a little excerpt on it, then I'm gonna close out because I don't want this one to be long too. I got a whole nother video that's explaining what we need to do to come together and make our own money with ourselves. Now we need to expose the tyrants and the race soldiers and every federal agency that stops the black people that pull themselves up by their bootstraps. When we get industry, we need to expose people that's actually gonna try to stop us from making our money from the industry. That's what we gotta do. Everybody has a place in this. Everybody has a place in this. Like I say, do what you love to rise above the bullshit. The same thing that you would do in an open field, you would do as part of our community. Find your community. Y'all collectivize y'all thoughts and come together. First thing we gotta do is eat. Second thing we gotta do, is have somewhere to live. Third thing we gotta do, this is third now. This ain't first, second, this is third, is educate the kids. Right after we have somewhere to live, the kids gotta know what we're doing. That's just how it goes. And that don't take no $1 trillion and 5,000 years to do it. We come together with the food that we have. When they try to make food scarce, we can't accept that. They will try to starve us out. We gotta have some food. With that energy, we build somewhere to live. When we have somewhere to live, we introduce our kids to the industry that we're creating. So we have a generation going forward that only sees black industry as the possibility to exist. Coons gotta go. They can't be a part of it because they're gonna undermine, sabotage, stuff like that. I'm gonna keep it under, I'm gonna do that whole video too, but I'm gonna keep it under 30 minutes because the last one was 30 minutes and I hate doing part twos. But shout out to everybody who actually heard me out back then. And then shout out to everybody that's gonna keep it real and say that they remember what I said a long time ago. But the proof is in the pudding. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe, donate, cash up, and holla at Vic and Dirty Kicks, and I'm out.